Alright, smiles, everyone. Show 'em your best shot. Show 'em your bird shot. You see the stars, but then you move through a city. But to even be considered human, but even to feel good, you need to feel like you're not. To have a right to be so. The world's greatest folly. Hello, everyone. This is Droops the Beat. Today I'm going to be talking about why I'm doing the art style that I'm doing for the project, The Theory of Her. If you saw the last video that I did about August 2018, you'll know that I'm doing a very big 450-page story called The Theory of Her, The Detroit Project. And what entails is music, art, and perhaps voice acting, if it gets to that point. However, I already explained quite a bit of it in that other video. Go check that out. Today I'm talking about the art style that goes along with some of the songs as a backdrop for the ones that are uploaded. One example is the picture I'm working on in the backdrop of this video. However, I'll still be working on it by the time it's finished, because of course I will. So a real quick history about me, just for context. When I was really young, I was told all this stuff, hey, I can draw pretty good, blah blah blah. So, wouldn't you know, going through middle school, high school, whatever, I took many art classes, and I was still told that I could draw somewhat well, and that I had genes passed down that let me be good at art, I guess. Except I hated the work that I had to do for middle school and high school, so throughout all of college, I just dropped the entire concept entirely. Now you're probably thinking, but Droops, well, clearly you're doing art now, and the answer to that, even though it's not a question, is that, well, my dude, there's a good reason for why I started doing the art as well as the story. It was because in 2015, I just sat down with a piece of paper and drew something. And I thought, oh hey, I guess this kind of looks like certain things that I watch already. And I went along with it. I started doing a little bit more and more pencil drawings, and then it got to the point where I was creating characters and backgrounds and all that. Then I figured in 2018, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna get myself a good Huion tablet and go digital. Because one drawing in particular I tried doing colors for, and it was horrible, and I didn't like how long it was. I'm not gonna go into the details of that. Just know that if you try to color in a pencil drawing that you scan from your printer into, I don't know, like some sort of program like GIMP, you're gonna have a hard fucking time. So some of you are probably asking, why am I using GIMP as an art content creation program? Anyone that knows these things, they know that GIMP is more of an image manipulation program, while stuff like Adobe Photoshop or Inkscape is more leaning toward creation. And the reason for that is, well, I'm poor AF, my dude, so I can't afford Photoshop. I could barely even afford the damn tablet. And it's like, Inkscape is free, however, somebody did mention that I should use that a while back, and I did check it out, and there's a very big difference between Inkscape and GIMP. Just fundamental differences that I'll get into in a little bit. So let's talk about the actual presentation. Why does it look like some sort of Cartoon Network ripoff? Why does it look so simple, so bland, and it looks like a child drew it? And with character creation that could mimic that of the Loud House if you, like, squint hard enough or something. Well, my fair YouTuber, there's a good reason for that. It's because there are two reasons. Actually, it's fun and it's easy. If it wasn't either of those things, you bet your ass I wouldn't be interested. Why would I force myself to do something I don't like? And why would I do it if it involves such hard work that, quite frankly, it just would not be motivating? I understand that there are people that do put in copious amounts of effort for even just, like, simple original design drawings, like bright, fluffy, colorful, magical, mystical forests or cityscapes and all that. And I'm not disparaging any of that. I wish I could do that. I know what I can only manage as one person. Which is why for a lot of independent works where most of it is made by one public face, for example, Undertale, Toby Fox, right? Of course you do. You know anyone else behind it besides maybe his girlfriend who is the inspiration for Temmie? Probably not. There is nothing I respect more than independent works where it's basically made by one person, let's be real. And the giant vibrant stuff isn't me. I understand that for this story I'm going to be including the pictures for every song, just so you can get a sense of why the songs would be played. I can't be working forever on these things. I can only work at my own pace, and for somebody like me who doesn't even really have that much of an established character model, background consistency, whatever, it still needs to form, and I'm not going to be working on this story alone for 10 years. I plan on having all of it done by at least the middle of 2020, if not the beginning. And don't think that's an excuse to do the simple art style. Believe you me, there's more. In this day and age, 2D animation is dying. Let's be real. You have a lot of CGI stuff, 3D stuff, whatever. I ain't a fan of it. This is why most anime is still 2D. It's because at least, I don't know what's up with anime, but whatever. That's something different entirely. Please understand, I'm not trying to create an anime. But I wouldn't be surprised if you think that, though, given the damn art style. But what I would hope for is that you at least think that my thing is more like, I don't know, Steven Universe or Adventure Time or something, even though I'm genuinely not a fan of either. Well, early Adventure Time is fine. Well, here's my point. It's not so much to fit an age demographic or to appeal to, any studio or something. No. I am much too stupid for that. I'm a friggin' monkey. Monkey see, monkey do. And what I've noticed lately is that there's a trend in webcomics that secure some sort of position in studios like Nickelodeon or Netflix or something. And then once you know, they go from comics to animation. And I know there are some steps in between, no shit. But think of it, how cool is that? At one point it was just doing some paper pencil drawings on a desk, and then it becomes American household TV. It doesn't even have to be American, but the point is, that's how big that they can make it. Am I saying that I can make it that big? Well, of course not. I expect nothing more than hatred for what I do. However, the point is that for what the trend shows, all I can hope for is that I can mimic it. In doing something that I already like, and that's easy, it gives me another bird to kill with the same stone by making the appearance of something that looks like it could be from an animation. This is why the specific style that I'm doing is going to be called a PASF, or that's short for pseudo animation still frame. The idea is, if I could trick you into believing that what I'm doing is actual animation, then mission accomplished. If I were to fool you into thinking that I'm watching something on my TV and I just press pause at any random minute, well, random being no in-betweens, no bouts of nothing, it's like, I'm talking about if, let's say you're in the middle of a scene where it's just kind of like talking or maybe a bit of action happening, and you have to go and take a piss or something, so you press pause. If I could convince you that what I'm doing looks like something of that caliber, then that's where PASF comes in. That's It's a very informal name for something that probably already has a real name, but that's just what I'm calling it. A pseudo-animation still frame. And it's pseudo because you would be able to find out very quick that it's not from animation, but rather it looks like it's something that some friggin' 24-year-old drew in pen on a tablet. You know why? Because I'm using GIMP, an image manipulation program, over something like Inkscape. Just a real quick difference in between the two. The only difference that I care about are specific graphics inputs for when you do a brush stroke in either. And when you do a brush stroke, it's either going to be vector or raster. Vector is what all these more professional images look like. And it's done with better consistency and less pixelation. If you were to zoom in as much as you could on an image with vector brushstrokes, you will not find any individual pixels. It'll look perfect curvature all around. But if, let's say you were to do a brushstroke with raster graphics in GIMP, the idea is because GIMP is an image manipulation tool, it's more accustomed for Photoshop and all that, and pixel classification. So if you were to draw a circle brushstroke for a raster graphics input, you're going to see squares everywhere if you zoom in hard enough. It's going to be made of squares with differently shaded hues. And Lord knows that's probably what you're seeing in the backdrop of this video right about now. I'm slightly ashamed to say that this is why what GIMP offers will not be true to what the actual image once was, because at least even in pencil you could get perfect curvature. However, you know, with GIMP, that's all I got. I can learn Inkscape, but there's a feature on it, a really annoying feature, that I don't know how to move the image around easily enough, and I just don't have the patience for it right now when I can barely manage what I already have. So, I imagine in a few months I'll give it another try, but, you know, until then I just have to keep learning how to actually draw now, don't I? Now, some of you were very confused about this, and were under the impression that I'm full of myself, and that my thing should be, an animation or something. Like, oh, I'm Droox, huh? Let me just stop you right there, my good fam. Let me just say a little disclaimer. My thing is not an animation. It should not be an animation. I hope it doesn't. The world will be a much worse place if what you're seeing right now becomes animated, I promise you. Just because I do. And if it is animated one day, that is for a very different mindset. One I am not capable of. Well, I mean, like, I am, but I'm not. But I am. Like, you know what I mean? Like, of course I can sit down and learn how to animate multiple different pictures into a single product. But that would take years, I have no doubt. It's already taken me years just to do a small number of individual drawings. I can barely manage one every so often. So this is why you're not going to expect animation from me. That's from somebody else who actually not only has experience in it and who wants to do it, but, well, I would say that just me personally, my own humble opinion, I would say I have a lot on my plate already. Between the actual writing and music and voice acting every now and then, I would say drawing, which most people shy away from in the first place, especially scientists, that I can only do what I set out to do, you know? So anyway, that's all I have for this video. If you like what you hear, make sure to like it for reals by pressing the thumbs up and hitting the rectangle that says subscribe in it. And there's also a bell. This part I'm actually kind of serious about. I didn't even know about this. There's a bell that lets you know when somebody uploads a video, and your notifications will be alerted. I didn't even know about that. So yeah, when you click that thing, it'll tell you when I do something else on the internet, I guess. I wish Twitter had that. Anyway, there you go. And, discuss amongst your friends what you make of whatever it is I'm doing here. Also, don't post inappropriate comments in my comment section or else my video won't get monetized. Thank you, YouTube, for giving me this opportunity. Hey there, it's me again. But this time I'm coming at you with a little bit of a short message for those who are potentially looking to do something similar to what I'm doing. All I could say is it wasn't easy for me to even do the story or the music, but when it comes to the drawings, I'm putting my heart into it, even though some people might think it's lazy or something because I'm not using like more than a few standard drawing techniques. It gets the point across because of the actual purpose that I have in mind. Doing as much of it as I can in many different poses, characters doing this, the environment is doing this. It'll be in this kind of fictional atmospheric setting in this, whatever. It's all going to look very much like something's happening, like I said. But just know that it's going to still look like something that you see on TV, except it's not regulated. But if I could still fool you into thinking it would be, with just a few tweaks every now and then, a few little minor tweaks in the system where you might think that it's something that TV might show, but thinking hard that it might not show. I don't know. That's not up for me to decide. That's up for you. I can only put what I can as an author into your mind. Just know that any artist that's looking at what I'm doing, you're probably laughing at the time lapse and what's happening, because what I know right now is dog shit. But that's fine, because I can keep learning, and I can keep learning techniques along the way. And slowly but surely, I'm learning perspective, line confidence, colors, just general sense of depth. It's all coming together. There's a plan in mind, and it just needs to work very slowly. That's all. But in all seriousness, if you want something that's a little bit more similar to what I'm doing, but is more professional and done by people with much better credibility than me, go to BAM Animation on YouTube, because they're doing stuff similar to what I'm doing. Because what I'm doing is I'm creating an original cartoon that could be misconstrued as its own original animation. They do that too, except the only thing is they draw it in a style that already exists. So let's say somebody draws an original character and sends it to them, and they want it to look like something from a real cartoon. They'll draw it in the form of Gravity Falls or Adventure Time or something. With me, I take what I do and I turn it into the theory of Earth. Simple as that. If you want something very similar to that in the same nature, go check them out. Again, it's BAM Animation. I wouldn't be recommending YouTube channels if they were too far out of line from what I do. That being said, I don't discourage it from the audience perspective either. If anyone knows of any other similar sounding YouTube channels that deal with this kind of process in animation or drawing, whichever have you, recommend them to me. I look up and down as hard as I can YouTube, and I just barely found out about these guys. Any other channels that are just hiding from me that perhaps somebody else would know would make my day. This is Droops the Beat, and I'll see you next time.